starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Salaam Alaikum. Mr. Moderator, our distinguished guests, brothers and sisters, our friends and our enemies.
Bismillah wa salatu wa salam wa rasulullah wa ba'd. In the name of Allah, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon his last and final messenger, family, friends, foes, haters, and haters. Looking sad. Where you at? It's costing me on my data. Oh, malish. Welcome back to the Feachaz. I greet you all in peace and love and no hatred in my heart. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So before we begin, please like, please subscribe, and please share. As you know, we got a lot of haters up in here. Welcome back, family. I have been, as some of you know, I've been really sick. Last couple of weeks, I had an incredibly bad flu, whatever it is, man. But anyways, I'm back. And if there was ever a bid'ah that I would introduce, because everybody want to bring a bid'ah around, all the Sufi brothers, you know what I mean, the Ash'ari brothers, they always want to bring a bid'ah, some kind of bid'ah, right? But if there was ever a bid'ah that I would introduce to the Muslims, it would be the death of the Henry Hellfire Killer Kissinger. I would make that day an Eid. He died today, Henry Kissinger, the single most notorious foreign policy litigator in human history. Nobody outdid this man, and we are still feeling the effects of this individual's foreign policy all throughout the earth till this very day, with his old raggedy hellfire hoochie mama ass. Okay. This dude puts the demon in demon. Okay. Forget the D, forget the E, forget the O-M-O-N. He puts the demon in demon. And furthermore, it is estimated that because of his ideas that the United States presidents were very happy to implement, I believe starting with Richard Nixon, either Nixon or Truman, one of those two, if I'm not mistaken. The amount of human life and blood spilled because of his Machiavellian policies spread throughout the entire earth. We should be like, if we could have an Eid, if I could make it an Eid, I would make it an Eid. Okay, I would make it an Eid. This man put the supremacy in white supremacy. And all over the earth, people are happy at the death of this individual. But Muslims, particularly black folk, darker skinned people, and Muslims should be extraordinarily happy. More so if you're Muslim, because you have certain knowledge that other folks don't have. That Allah will prolong the lives of the wicked individuals, the evil, the mischief makers, the people who have taken the pharaonic, playbook to another level, to a modernized level. Those folks, he will prolong their lives, let them live long, cushy lives. Like, I don't know, living to 100. Henry Kissinger, born in 1923, died in 2023. Hellfire got a hell a lot hotter today. A hell a lot hotter. A hell a lot hotter. Okay? Allah will prolong the lives of these folks and let them live nice, cushy lives on this earth, so that when they go to hell, they will know exactly why they lived this nice, cushy life. And there are certain people that Allah has created that on the day of judgment, it won't even be no judgment. It won't even be no judgment for these folks, because they know already there's no Jannah for them. All the chaos they caused on the planet. Like Henry Kissinger. So let's just get into, because especially if you're young, if you don't know this, man, this is one of the most important men that you should know in our time. Because if you want to know why your country is suffering, why you are suffering from Africa, why you're suffering from the darker places of Asia, why you are suffering from the global south, chances are all your suffering and your turmoil can be traced back to the foreign policy of this one man, Henry Kissinger. Henry Hellfire Kissinger. Don't say his name without saying hellfire, okay? Don't say his name without saying rotten hell. Make sure you make that a part of your vernacular. Henry Rotten Hell Kissinger. Okay? Make sure you say that. Okay? So this is, look. Actually, let's watch this real short clip. 1 second, y'all. Let me just cue this up. We're going to watch this. 1 second, y'all.
Henry Kissinger is somehow still alive, and in his lifetime, he's been responsible for some of the worst atrocities in the history of the world. As he turns 100...
Are y'all hearing that? Nobody right now is sad that Henry Kissinger is dead. Can you imagine dying and the whole world rejoicing that you're dead? It don't make a difference where you're from. Don't make a difference, what religion you are. The whole world is happy that you're gone. This is Henry Kissinger. Number one's in the chat. Y'all can hear me. Okay, let's keep going, y'all.
On Saturday, we wanted to recap just a few of the war crimes that stand as his true legacy. Under Nixon, Kissinger oversaw the massacre of millions in Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos from 1969 to 1973. He was the mastermind behind the carpet bombing of Cambodia, which deliberately targeted civilians, personally approving all 3,875 bombing raids in Cambodia. And to this day, Laos remains the most bombed country in world history.
Now, if y'all are wondering where the European Jews, known as Zionists, learned how to indiscriminately bomb Palestinians in 2023, this is your man. This is why we say, don't think that what they doing in Israel is new or somehow whatchamacallit, not done before. No, these white supremacists, this is their nature. This is how they are. If y'all didn't know, now y'all know. Henry Kissinger was doing this in Cambodia and Vietnam long before what's going on in Palestine today. They learned this stuff from the white supremacists in the West. The only difference in 2023 is that we have a little pesky thing called social media. So now the very same white supremacists, which were giving you controlled narratives on your mainstream media platforms, can no longer control the narrative. That's the only difference. But this indiscriminate bombing of civilians and genocide and massacring, it's in their nature. This is what these people do. They've been doing this for a very, very, even long before even having Henry Kissinger, they've been doing this stuff. Wiping out entire nations. Wiping out entire tribes. Enslaving people en masse. This is how they are. Just because y'all found out about it on social media today, don't mean they've been doing it for a long time. Okay, let's keep watching, y'all.
In Chile, Kissinger played a key role in orchestrating the US-backed 1973 coup that toppled the socialist government of Salvador Allende and installed the fascist Augusto Pinochet. Pinochet's brutal regime murdered thousands and subjected tens of thousands more to torture during his 16-year reign. Kissinger aided the Pakistani dictator Yahya Khan against Bangladesh's liberation war of 1971.
I hope y'all heard that. Okay? We talked about this on this channel already. Some of y'all Pakistanis didn't like the fact that we brought this up. Some of y'all. Not all of y'all. All of you. Some of y'all actually are, have human hearts, okay? Some of y'all were, embarrassed by this very glaring bump in the road in Pakistani history. But we talked about this on this channel. And we also mentioned on this channel, while some of y'all Pakistanis got mad at us, like we said something wrong. We didn't say nothing wrong. We told y'all the truth. Y'all love Zaddy, and you do Zaddy's bidding on a whim. How dare you look at other folks' countries and start blaming other people's countries on the mess of the ummah without looking at yourselves? Absolutely astonishing. Go read up on the East and West Pakistan war if y'all don't believe me. Just read up on that thing. Read up on what happened. If y'all don't believe me. Like we have time to go make up history and stuff. We ain't making this stuff up. Just keep watching, y'all. This is a short clip anyway. There's so much on this, man.
Enabling the mass slaughter of an estimated 300,000 to 3 million people. Kissinger authorized and armed Suharto, the Indonesian dictator, in his genocidal invasion of East Timor in 1975.
This is another thing that we talked about, okay, on this channel as well. Okay, when we're reading from the book, Confessions of an Economic Hitman. One of the places we read about was this very same subject, referring to Indonesia. Y'all better ask somebody. Y'all better ask somebody. You see, here's the thing, particularly about, it's like a quirk with a lot of the immigrant Muslims, okay? The immigrant Muslims, they're fleeing their countries from the hell brought to their countries from the very same people they're fleeing, that brought the people that brought them that hell, they go to their countries. You get me? So you flee your country, all the hell that's going on in your country, you flee it. To go to the country of Henry Hellraiser Kissinger, to turn around and start pointing the finger at other Muslim countries and other Muslim leaders. Notice up until this very date, okay? Since that Palestinian thing went on, we have made it a point not to talk about other Muslims. Because if y'all are watching what's going on in Muslim YouTube right now, you would think that some travesty like that would actually raise the level and the manners of Muslim YouTubers. That would be the logical, conclusion. But instead, what they did is that they took this opportunity of what's going on in Palestine, not to attack the enemy, but to attack each other. So they all over YouTube, your YouTubian elites, calling this one a sellout, this one an agent, this one, doesn't care about. This is what they're doing on YouTube, all over YouTube. All over YouTube. But the question is, where did they get this behavior from? This is not new behavior. The only difference is that it's being displayed on YouTube now. This type of treacherous behavior has always been in the culture of the immigrant Muslim. Very treacherous people. Very, very treacherous. One of them the other day went on his Twitter or his X profile and he publicly said, and this right here is making me really, really itch to talk about these folks because they're so treacherous. He publicly said, white nationalists, we don't hate you. We don't hate you. We want to be like you. If the twitching and twirling was very shameful, we don't hate you, white nationalists. We're not the enemy. We're not your enemies, white nationalists. Speak for yourself. We know our enemies very well. We know very well the white nationalists, the white supremacists, no difference. All they doing is making white nationalism palatable so that shucking and driving brownies like you can go and tell them, oh, we don't hate you. Like you think you're the first sellout to go to a white nationalist, tell them that we don't hate you. We want to be loved by you, Zaddy. You think you're the first one to say that? You think you're saying something new and original? Speak for yourself. Shame yourself. Embarrass yourself. Go to the enemies of Allah and tell them that you don't hate them for yourself. Who is this we? This is what your YouTubian elites are doing. We don't want no parts in that. That's why I haven't talked about no Muslims, okay? It's embarrassing. And the content that is being put out by the opponents of Islam, by the shameful behavior of your YouTubian elites, is so potent. Not because the ulama, they're not putting no scholars, no learning people on their channel. They putting your YouTubian elites, and you can fill in the names yourselves of who they putting out there, making videos about these folks. The treacherous behavior has always been in them because they themselves will sell out their own mama for a white picket fence and being a neighbor to Zaddy and them. So they can be very, very brave behind a camera and a computer screen. The bravery behind, and here's the catch. You know how in the beginning, like I said, if there was ever a bid'ah I would make, okay, I would make the bid'ah of Edel Henry Kissinger is dead. Okay, the Edel Henry Kissinger is dead bid'ah. I would make that. If there was a law I can make, I would make this law. Okay. The bravest, most courageous people on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, these brave people who are incredibly brave and have all this bravado and machismo behind a computer, it should be mandatory for the government to draft these people into their armies first. Okay? I would make that law. That's a law I would make. Since social media was invented, less of these dudes got punched in the face. And that's why they're so brave. We Muslims, we don't hate you white nationalists. Speak for your goddamn self. Speak for your goddamn self. Over here, we hope each and every single one of them rots in hell. All of them. Unless Allah guides them. And when we say Allah guides them, not the way that you want them to be guided, because you want your Islam and racism at the same time. That's what y'all want. You want to be a Muslim racist. You want to be a Muslim who white people accept, and a Muslim who can outwardly reject blackness if you could, without being criticized. That's the Islam that you want to practice. So it's easy for y'all to talk about, reparations is a leftist talking point. Or it's easy for y'all to talk about, CRT, that is Marxism. Or it's easy for y'all to talk about, these people who are talking about us are crackheads, former crackheads and former drug dealers. It's easy for y'all to say that. Because you want your racism and with your Islam. But y'all keep telling us there's no racism in Islam. Let me tell y'all something. There's no Islam in the racist. We don't need to hear about there's no racism in Islam. If you are racist, there's no Islam in you. Your religion is the same religion as Iblis himself, the originator of racism. Don't try to mix up the two. You can follow any religion y'all want. Nobody forcing you to say that you're a Muslim. Nobody begging you to be Muslim. But you want to equate Islam with white supremacy now. That's what y'all doing today. And then we got questions for you, because it seems to me that a lot of your so-called Muslim countries that you're so proud of went and did the bidding of the white supremacists, and they did so proudly. Like the East and West Pakistan war, like what happened in Indonesia, like what's going on in the Arab world today with Africans. That's what it looked like to us. Explain to me, who is this we that do not hate the white nationalists? Who is this we? I wish a biscuit would. Anyways, let's keep watching, y'all.
This campaign led to the death of over 200,000 Timorese through massacres and forced starvation. In 1976, Kissinger gave his pre-approval to Argentina's right-wing military junta for their dirty war against leftists, resulting in the brutal murder, torture, and disappearance of over 30,000 people.
Who did they fight? In Argentina? Was it Argentina, she said? There's so many different countries. 1 second, y'all.
Against leftists.
Military junta. What country is that again? Military junta. Argentina. That's right. Argentina's military junta.
To Argentina's right-wing military junta for their dirty war against leftists, resulting in the brutal murder, torture, and disappearance of over 30,000 people.
So when Daniel Hikikachu was talking about, the leftist this and leftist that, the leftist this and leftist that, just show him this video, please. And show his followers this video, please. This little short clip. These people are rewriting history right before your very eyes. And hundreds of thousands of Muslims are following these idiots. And I keep saying to y'all, if you get your religion from a YouTuber, you're a damn idiot. I don't care how many millions and hundred thousands of y'all doing it. You're a damn fool. And you will be an idiot until you stop doing that nonsense. Are you saying that if you follow a YouTuber and you get your Islam from a YouTuber that you're an idiot? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Did I stutter? The ironic thing is that Muslims are only folks that do that crap. Ain't nobody telling their people to go follow their religion from YouTube. Nobody, only the Muslims doing this. Making superstars out of the most vile, deranged, clout-chasing, incel personalities like Daniel Hagiju. Y'all made him a superstar. The ulama, unless you consider that weirdo Karima Abu Sayyid an alim. Okay, which I don't. Okay, I don't consider him an alim. I just see him as an old Arab dude. That's it. I don't consider him an alim. Okay, but unless you consider those type of folks your ulama, which I don't seek knowledge from those folks. Now, where are these ulama promoting Daniel Hagiju? Where are they? Just keep watching, yo.
This is only a glimpse into the extensive list of Kissinger's crimes, and new things are still being revealed every year. While Kissinger continues to be honored and held in high regard by the mainstream political establishment, it's clear that he should rightfully be remembered as one of the biggest mass murderers in history.
All right, y'all. So that's just one, okay? That is just one. Let's see. 1 second. Let's read about Henry Kissinger's foreign policy for Africa, shall we? And we touched up on this in one of the previous videos, anyways. Right? We're gonna do it again. We're gonna do one more again. Okay. Let's read this, y'all. Henry Kissinger, how his diplomacy in Africa prolonged South African apartheid. Okay. Henry Kissinger, who sexed up the art of diplomacy in 8 years between 1969 and 1977, has died at the age of 100. In the obituaries that have been written, some laud Kissinger's role in shaping East-West relations while he was in the office of U.S. Secretary of State, and many in the commentary and decades beyond call him a statesman. Radical critics pointed out Kissinger's ruthless methods, like encouraging a coup in Chile in 1973, and called him to put on trial for war crimes. Traditional diplomacy stayed a near hidden enterprise for gray-suited men, mostly by intuition, understood the grave matters of war and peace. Kissinger turned it into a site of celebrity, the jet set and expert opinion. The world watched where he went. Kissinger diplomatic achievements were quite astonishing. Recognition in China. Okay, let's keep going down here. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Okay, so over here, white minority rule. Famously, Kissinger's doctoral thesis at Harvard was on diplomacy of the Congress of Vienna, 1814, 1815. He argued that legitimacy in international affairs rested in establishing a balance between powers of state rather than promoting justice. Did y'all hear that? Okay, we're just getting started. We are just getting started, okay? But 19th century Europe was no guide to managing 20th century Southern Africa, when the legitimacy of the states was seized with the liberation rather than the niceties of big power diplomacy. And in April 1974, a coup in Lisbon had signaled the end of Portuguese colonialism in Africa. This exposed the vulnerability of white rule in Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, and South African controlled Southwest Africa, now Namibia. By the way, in Namibia, for those of y'all who don't know, Namibia is like one of the landlocked countries in Africa, a beautiful country, right? And I want to say about 5% of the population there is German, right? 5%. These 5% of white folks in Namibia own 85% of the wealth of the entire country. Or something like that. Somebody can fact check me on that if y'all can look it up. But it's a ridiculous number. Absolutely ridiculous number. Namibia. Go look up Namibia. Beautiful country. Beautiful country with beautiful people. And look at the wealth disparity between the natives and the Europeans in Namibia. Okay. Although hidden at the time, it is nowadays clear that the events in Lisbon helped to prime the fire that was to come to South Africa. With the stability of the white South under threat, U.S. policy required rethinking. It was Cuba's intervention in Angola that helped Kissinger reframe Washington's approach to the region in Cold War terms. South Africa and the United States supported the rebel UNITA movement to fight the government of the Popular Movement of the Liberation of Angola, okay, which was allied with the Soviet Union. It required drawing an apartheid regime closer while simultaneously urging change in Zimbabwe and in Namibia. Are y'all hearing this? These are the folks that YouTubers are saying in public on their X platforms that we don't hate you. These folks. We don't hate you. They're publicly saying this. You know what? I might have to break my own policy. I might actually out some of these dudes because these dudes are absolutely treacherous. Absolutely in every facet of the word treacherous. We don't hate you, white nationalists. These folks. The shuttle started with a speech in Lusaka, Zambia, which to pressure a white-ruled Rhodesia, and now it's called Zimbabwe, right, to accept the idea of majority rule. More gently, Kissinger asked South Africa to announce the timetable to achieve self-determination in Namibia. Kissinger then traveled to Tanzania to make a similar address. A series of high-profile meetings followed with apartheid's then Prime Minister John Vorster. These took place in Germany and Switzerland. The record of these encounters to make interesting reading. Over dinner on the 23rd in June 1976, the ice was broken over a racist joke which established a bonhomie between a dozen white men who deliberated on the future of the subcontinent of black people for 2 hours. But we don't hate you. We, the Muslims, don't hate you. Can you believe that? We, the Muslims, we do not hate you, white nationalists. The apartheid regime had catapulted directly into Kissinger's star-studded orbit. The unofficial record of talks suggests that South African delegation appeared dazed. Were they overwhelmed by the occasion, or were they reeling from the events the previous week in Soweto, when apartheid police killed unarmed school children protesting against the imposition of Africa's language as a medium of instruction? For their part, America's side seemed keen to learn. An early memorandum of the proceedings, Kissinger declared that he was trying to understand at another and was being analytical. In true diplomatic form, apartheid was not discussed, even though some attention was given to Southwest Africa. The discussion remained focused on Rhodesia. Eventually, the strategy was agreed. Vorster would get what's that? As I never recalcitrant. Rhodesians to agree on majority rule. Kissinger would get the Zambians and the Tanzanians to support the movement on the Namibian issue would be slower. The high moment of the entire exercise was Kissinger, September 1976 in Pretoria. By happenstance, Rhodesia's Prime Minister Ian Smith was scheduled to be in town to watch the rugby match. Okay, and this is how they do it, anyways, right? If you want to convince an oppressed people that they're not oppressed, give them democracy and tell them the majority rules, while feeding them puppet leaders every single election cycle, and convince them that they chose their own puppet leaders. That's how you do it. We said on this channel many times, the U.S. only exports two things. Okay, they export democracy, they export weapons. Sister Aisada made an amazing point. She said, we should be as open with our disdain as they are with their nationalism. 100%. And how easy this is such like a easy softball lob. How difficult is it to hate a white supremacist? They've only given us 500 solid years of what they can do. Long resume of massacres, murders, maiming, molesting, mutilation, and about 16 other M words. that I can't pronounce right now. And they are proud of it. And when they do all of their mischief throughout the earth, another M word, when they commit all their mischief throughout the earth, they want to turn around and tell you, oh, well, that happened so long ago and we're different, and we're not white supremacists anymore. We're just white nationalists. We want our own white nation. Try to sanitize the whole crap after they've done all that nonsense throughout the earth. Can you imagine? And here come, I'm just going to say it. You know what? Forget it, man. I'm tired. This thing got me so hot. let me just break my own rule. I'm about to break my own rule today. Okay. Like, subscribe, share. Hit me up on Patreon, y'all. Y'all want to see who it is? Look at this. Look at this. Go call your friends because I'm about to out one of them right now. And maybe I'll go live and do a special live for this one person. Okay? Speaking for all of us. Y'all ready? Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready. Let me just show y'all. This is Dilly Hussein from 5 Pillars. Was never a fan. To me, he's a no talent, just another no talent that I don't need to be bothering myself with. Okay? He don't bother me, I don't bother him, no problem. He's trying to get he's out here on these YouTube streets trying to get paid, grifting the Muslims and the immigrants and whatnot. Let him do his thing. I don't care. I don't care. But look at here. Look what this idiot says. And I apologize to actual idiots for putting him in the same category as you. I apologize for that. But Dilly Hussein, somebody can tag him too. Okay. My final message to sincere white nationalists. Let me read that one more again. My final message to sincere white nationalists. Sincere white nationalists. Muslims don't hate you. Nor do we want to replace the white native people. Family, are y'all catching? I'm not even done yet. Okay, Muslims don't hate you, nor do they want to replace the white native population. Family, let me ask y'all a question. I want everybody who's watching this live, watching right now, I want all of y'all to answer, please. Is Islam the religion of truth, or is it an ethnic group? Somebody put it in the chat, please. Is Islam the religion of truth, or is it an ethnic group laced with brownies and Arabs, and that's it? That's what Islam is. Somebody put the answer in the chat, please, because inquiring minds need to know. Because we want to know what in the hell Cool J, Silly Dilly Hussein is talking about. Look here. Muslims hate that we. Who's we? Is he talking about the Muslims? Is he talking about those folks who are practicing Quran and Sunnah? Is he talking about those people who bow down in humility to the one true God? No. We and migrants. So basically, the Muslims now, they're the migrants, right? Are scapegoated for the ills of our society. What is our society? If y'all don't know who Delhi Hussein is, he is a brownie British. He's a brownie British. So what is our society? He means the British society. He's calling it our society. That's what he's calling it. Because he ain't fitting to go back to no Muslim country nowhere. He is trying to get in where he fit in. Where he's trying to fit in? With the white nationalists, according to his own words. I'm not making this up. These are his own words that he publicly put out on his ex. I need answers to that question. Is Islam the religion of truth, or is Islam an ethnic group? Because I need to know. I need to know if I joined the religion of truth or I joined some ethnic group somewhere. Sister Tika says it's a religion of truth. I need to know. Let's keep reading, y'all. Do we pray for our fellow Britons to be guided to Islam? Absolutely. Which fellow Britons is he talking about? Is he talking about darkies like us? Is he talking about darkies like us? Is he talking about darkies like us? Listen what he say. A white Muslim is my brother, and in this life and the next, over a Bengali, Hindu, or Pakistani atheist who I share ethnicity with and culture with. Are you sure about that, Dilly? Because you started off by saying to sincere white nationalists that we don't hate you. When the whole stick and the pillar of white nationalism is actual hate. To be segregationist, to be separatist, to be away from the darkies, to not see melanin. They don't care about how many times you bumping your head on the floor praying to Allah. They don't care about that. You're too dark to fit in with them. And look what he end with. Look at this. Look at this. The audacity of this man. Just the absolute audacity. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he said in his final sermon, all mankind is from Adam and Eve, an Arab and has no superior over a non-Arab, and a non-Arab has no superior over an Arab, and also a white over no superior over a black, nor a black who has no superior over a white, except through piety and good action. Can you believe that? He has the audacity to quote that hadith after saying that we don't hate the white nationalists. Speaking for the Muslims. All this hell on earth that has been done in the name of white superiority all of this mischief and wickedness, culling of millions of people, not just through wars, but through inoculated millions of black Africans with HIV and then Ebola, and then telling us that it came from some monkey somewhere, of setting the caste systems in Arab countries in order for them to make sure that darker skinned Bengalis and Sri Lankans are perpetually in a system of social impotence to be subservient to their Arab masters. They did this. They are the wicked hands behind the wars that caused the deaths of millions of Muslims. Millions. But we don't hate you. Dilly Hussein, y'all. Dilly Hussein, y'all. And then he has the audacity to quote the hadith after telling the people who hate you based upon skin color that, no, we don't hate you back, because they ain't ever heard that before. They ain't never heard no darky sing the praises of whiteness before. They never heard that. Can you imagine darker skinned people singing the praises of white folks? Can you imagine that? Like, who would have thought? I mean, who would have thought? It's like, for example, just imagine in a hypothetical world, right? That millions of black people all throughout the earth are worshiping a white god. Can you imagine that? I can't even think of that. Or just imagine, for example, an entire South Asian entire South Asian lands, where it's been a part of their culture for a better part of millennia, where the darker skinned people of that people are the lowest of the lowest of the low, so much low that they are called the outcast, the untouchables. And the highest yellow, lightest skinned people, they're called the Brahmins or the priests or the godlies. I can't imagine a world like that. So I don't think any race-hating white person has ever heard a darker skinned person ever tell them ever that, we don't hate you. I don't think it happens. Do y'all think it happens? I don't think so. He's going to speak for all Muslims now and tell the white nationalists that the Muslims don't hate you. And then in the same paragraph pretend that what he said wasn't out of pocket and wasn't racist, and then he quotes some hadith somewhere that shouldn't be put in this situation. Can you imagine that? These folks are the products of Henry Kissinger. These folks are keeping the system alive. The system of white supremacy. The system that always has Zaddy in them in a position of moral high ground. Simply because they're Zaddy. Begging your oppressor for love. In the most pathetic, outrageous way. These guys. And then turn around and say, there's no superiority. Because that's going to touch the white supremacist heart, right? That'll learn them. Let's get back. The children of Kissinger with Arabic names, claiming Islam, are running all over YouTube, telling their enemies that they don't hate them. While their enemies have no problems expressing their unwavering hate for the darker skinned people of the world. Speak for yourself, Dilly Hussein. I don't know what kind of religion you following. Where's the Wala wa Bara? Is that Wala wa Bara? Is this the Wala wa Bara what the Prophet said something that he taught? He taught this is what he taught? Give me a goddamn break. Where was we, children? Where was I? I can't even remember where I was. We were talking about Africa. Here we go. Y'all see? Y'all all right? Y'all hearing okay? Can you imagine going? Yep. You say, for example, one day you have to go on a battlefield. You got to fight your enemy. Here come Dilly Hussein. He's supposed to have your back and goes to the enemy. You know, we don't hate you. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Dilly Hussein never met any man from Ahlul Sunnah that he liked. 5 pillars, Dilly Hussein. 5 pillars, Dilly Hussein. Inviting Jake, what you call it, white supremacist Shields to his channel to say something nice about Islam. Jake should say kafir, white supremacist. Because he's an former MMA star. Let me bring him on my channel so he can sing the praises of Islam and stuff. That Dilly Hussein. He want to talk for all the Muslims now. We don't hate you. We don't hate you. We don't hate you. We just hate the imams of Ahlul Sunnah. we hate the imams that keep quoting ayat and hadith and telling us to be upon the straight path and things. Those are the folks that we hate. But Zaddy and them, nah, we don't hate you. Can we be your neighbor, please? Can we be your neighbor? Can we be your neighbor, please? Can you bless us with your presence in our neighborhood and stuff like that? Can we don't hate you. We're kind of white too. Look at me, I'm a little light skinned. I'm a little bit light skinned. Dilly Hussein. You all must be tripping, man. This is what's going on YouTube nowadays, man. This is what's happening. Anyways, see why I don't like to talk about them? You see? These people are replacing ulama, actual scholars, and saying the most outrageous things to build up their platforms and getting in good with the enemy so they can get paid, off of your likes, your subscribes, your shares, all the kind of stuff. That's how they get paid. That's how they do it. And they're more than willing and ready to throw black people under the bus. They've been doing this for, y'all know. Because we said it, don't make it any different. These folks are not your brothers, okay? Don't confuse them with your Muslim brothers. They're not. They have their own self-interest at heart. They are willing to throw each and every single Negro under the bus to get their self-interest, fulfilled. So they can say crazy stuff. Like, we don't hate the white nationalists. Every single Muslim country that faced war since World War I faced it because of a white nationalist, because of a white supremacist. All of them. Just because they're trying to sanitize their image, don't make it that any less revolting and disgusting and reviling. Can you imagine? You go out, you murder millions and millions and millions of people. You come back home, you wash your hands clean, and you say, well, I'm not a white supremacist no more. I'm a white nationalist. I don't believe in that killing stuff no more. And here come Dilly Hussein. Well, you're all right. You're all right. We don't hate you. Here come Dilly Hussein. And the rest of them, the rest of those idiots, the rest of those people trying to sign up for white supremacy Islam. Them folks. Just keep going, y'all. Y'all got me hot today. See, because I haven't gone live for so long, man. I got a lot to say. Got a lot to say there. Let's keep going, y'all. Like, subscribe, share, hit me up on Patreon, y'all. Make sure y'all share this. Somebody tag these buffoons. Tag them in this video. And tag their fanboys, too, so they can see this. New York Times reported that Kissinger was received with a small guard of honor of black soldiers at the Waterloo Air Base when his plane landed. And Kissinger and his entourage, including all the important press, set up a camp in Pretoria's Burgersford Park Hotel. For 4 days, an increasingly isolated and internationally condemned South Africa basked in the spotlight of the world attention. Undoubtedly, it was the high point of apartheid's diplomacy. Okay? It's 1976, y'all. The drama of the weekend turned left when Kissinger met black leaders who were critical of apartheid. The activist editor Percy Koboza was the only one when that then went on whether Kissinger, as an envoy of the U.S., could meet directly with Smith, whose regime was not internationally recognized. In the event of the two men of 4 hours in a Sunday morning, and a deal was sealed, tearful Smith and the Prime Minister announced that Rhodesia would accept the principal majority rule. Okay? They accepted the principle of majority rule. But the follow-up processes were fumbled. The illegal regime limped on for another 4 years. Kissinger had a further visit to South Africa on September 1982 and delivered a keynote address to the conference organized by South African Institute of International Affairs. The second was when, with others, he unsuccessfully tried to solve the crisis over the Inkatha Freedom Party leader Mangosuthu Buthelezi rejections of South Africa's interim constitution in April 1994. If most of y'all will be too young to remember this. This was a major thing. It was a major crisis at the time. Okay? It was a major crisis. Okay? Y'all should read about Buthelezi and his rejection of South Africa's interim constitution in April 1994. It caused a big thing. Kissinger's interest in Southern Africa in the mid-1970s was predicated on the idea that balance that would return the interests of the strong were restored. Who are the strong? Who are the strong in South Africa? It's a strong everywhere else on Earth. The white minority. It is the white minority. So you got to understand how these diplomats, how they talk. They can't say the words white supremacy. They can't say that. And those words would never, ever come out their mouth. They will use other language. They will hide behind language in order to achieve their goals. That's why they're smart. Okay? That's why they're smart. And they will get the people to repeat their talking points in order to achieve their goals. So they will tell African countries, okay, majority rules, democracy, all that kind of stuff, while installing their own dictators in the country and having the people vote for their dictator. And what do the dictators say in these democracies? The same things they say in the democracies right here, the dictatorship right here. Okay? You know, the people need jobs. The people need health care. The people need better education. These type of things. Every 4 years is the same thing in the West. If you heard one election speech, whether it's the prime minister's debates in Canada or the presidential speeches in the States, you heard them all. That's how they keep the game going. Except These elections, they're going to be different. Remember a while ago, we told y'all that the world is trending to alt-right politics. And this is not an accident. This is by design. Because the idea of democracy is coming to a close, it's coming to an end. And what you're going to see are the rise of international dictatorships, including Western countries. We said this first. We said this before even the media covered it. And now you're hearing the media all over, mainstream media, alternative media. They're all saying the same thing. The world is trending to far-right politics. We said it here first. We said this years ago. Y'all remember that, right? Where are my day ones yet? Put one in the chat if y'all remember me talking about this. My day ones, please. Now what's going on? Argentina now. Far-right president. Argentina. New Zealand, another one. Far-right president. Switzerland, far-right president. All at the same time. All at the same time. We said it here that in 2024, either Donald Trump will be the next president or somebody like him. Family, with all of Donald Trump's legal woes, with all of Donald Trump's legal woes, who is the front runner? Not even close, but by like a mile. Who is the front runner for the Republican vote as we speak right now for the Republican presidential nod? Who's the front runner? Somebody put it in the chat, please. We called this how long ago? Okay. At least 2 years ago, we said it. Y'all thought it was crazy. Y'all thought it was crazy. Yes, it's Donald Trump. Not even close. Nobody's near him for the Republican vote. We have people who are typically Democrats jumping ship and openly saying that they're going to vote for Donald Trump, like the leaders of Black Lives Matter, the organization. Go look it up if y'all think I'm tripping. Okay? They're publicly coming out and saying we're voting Donald Trump in the next election. You have this thing that's going on right now in Palestine. What did your Arab, Muslim organizations, and not just the Arab, but your mainstream Muslim organizations, say publicly because of what's going on in Palestine? Didn't they say publicly, no ceasefire, no votes? You're not going to get the Muslim votes? And who are they talking to? Joe Biden. And who do you think these bones of business is going to vote for next year? Huh? Didn't we call all this? Didn't we say it's going to happen? Okay, it hasn't happened yet. I'm sticking to my guns with this. I am sticking to my guns. If Donald Trump is alive, even as things that they're going with all his legal troubles, people will write his name on the ballot. Okay? Black people are not voting Democrat no more. That's done. Those days are over. The black folks who typically voted Democrat, they're done with the Democratic Party. All of them. That's why they're trying to flood all of these black cities with, what are they trying to flood them with? Somebody put in the chat, please. Okay. All these black cities in the States, which demographic are they flooding these black cities with? Who are they? Who are they filling them up with? Okay, I don't want to say it because if I say y'all gonna think I'm tripping, but somebody else got to know. Somebody else got to know. But what you got to understand about this left-right paradigm, it has nothing to do with the votes of the people. It's a dance that the true powers that they involve themselves with. Thank you. Hispanics. They're flooding black communities with people coming up from the border. Just flooding. What's going on? What's going on in Chicago today? What's going on in New York today? Because they want those folks to vote. So black people, because they're not voting Democrat no more, writing's on the wall for the Democrat Party, they're being replaced in their own cities. Okay? But again, this is a dance. They know the outcomes even before the outcomes actually happen. And that's why in the 2016 election, when Donald Trump became president, everybody and their mama was certain that Hillary Clinton was going to win. And all of a sudden, on election night, never happened before in Western history, all of a sudden, just like that, here comes Donald Trump. It wasn't even close before the election night. And all of a sudden, Donald Trump wins. Just like that. Because your leaders are selected. They're not elected. Okay? But the trend is to break the system internationally. They don't want this system anymore. They don't want the system. They don't want no more middle class. They don't want no more, what you would call it. Definitely don't want no more immigrants. Okay? The white supremacist is worried about white genetic annihilation. And how do you prevent white genetic annihilation? The same way they've been doing it for the last 400 plus years, through an insane amount of violence. And how do you get the people on board with insane amounts of violence? By upping the rhetoric. You don't have jobs not because the government has given favorable contracts to corporations or a few billionaires, not because of that. You don't have jobs because of the immigrants. That's why you don't have jobs. The immigrants are the ones that are bringing the crime. Y'all hear me? This is happening all over the world. And Henry Kissinger is the godfather of this playbook in modern times. And he's been doing this in darker skinned countries for decades. Let's return back to, let me get this, y'all. Let's go back to what happened in East-West Pakistan. We're going to talk about this before. We're going to talk about it again. We're going to use this as a case study, shall we? Kissinger should have apologized for the 1971 war rule. Bangladesh Foreign Minister A.K. Abdul Mu'min. Okay. Bangladesh Foreign Minister A.K. Abdul Mu'min has expressed strong criticism of Henry Kissinger, former U.S. Secretary of State, without the age of 100, for his role in the 1971 war. Mu'min asserted that Kissinger supported the Pakistani military regime during the war, and failed to apologize to the people of Bangladesh for his actions. Okay? Kissinger, a key figure in the Cold War policy, passed away on Thursday, November 30th. Rest in hell, Kissinger. Anyways, Kissinger has been an iconic diplomat. He played an immense role in the diplomatic world, particularly designing U.S. policy abroad. Knowledge movement reflecting Kissinger's overall legacy. However, the foreign minister did not shy away from pointing out Kissinger's action in the 1971 India-Pakistan war, which led to the creation of Bangladesh, stating that, but unfortunately in 1971, he was dead against the people of the then East Pakistan. Well, you don't say. You don't say. Can you imagine Henry Kissinger being against some short, dark-skinned people somewhere on the edge of the world somewhere? Him? This good white man? Don't worry, he's apologizing in hell right now. Okay? He's apologizing in hell right now, okay? Movement highlighted his role in violating all American laws, international laws, to support Pakistani military junta, and also supplied weapons to illegally occupying forces of Pakistan. That's how. Remember, we said that's how Pakistan became a nuclear power because of this war, which Henry Kissinger supported thick and thin what Pakistan was doing to the Bangladeshi people, now Bangladeshi people. Okay. The Nixon administration under Kissinger had taken a strong anti-Indian stance during the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War and supported Pakistan. Bangladesh Liberation War saw West Pakistani military actions in East Pakistan leading to over 1 million deaths and several millions becoming refugees. That is very sad for such a smart man to do such inhumane things. It is not acceptable, Movement emphasized. Mind you, what we know about Henry Kissinger is that he's responsible for at least 4 million deaths directly because of his foreign policy. That's what we know. We are not talking about the maiming, the mutilation, the forced migration, the molestation. We're not talking about any of that stuff. The mental decapitation, okay? And about 16 other M words. We ain't talking about that. We're only talking about the killing that we know about. We don't know. There's things that we just don't know about yet. But Henry Kissinger did not happen in a vacuum because the white supremacist was doing these things long before Henry Kissinger. So when you see it being played out in Palestine, only y'all are surprised. We ain't surprised. Okay? Only y'all are surprised. We know about the white supremacists very well. Okay? What Henry Kissinger did is that he perfected what is now known as U.S. foreign policy. Okay? He essentially made the transition very smooth for politics to meld with banking, to meld with the military-industrial complex, to meld with propagation, to meld with arming, just randoms. Who are you going to arm? Just some dude off the street. We're going to give him money. We're going to go weapons. We're going to tell him who to kill and going to do it. That's what he did. Testing all kinds of insane weapons on darker skinned people and hiding the evidence. And here comes Dilly Hussein saying, we don't hate you. Y'all hearing me? But anyways, family, that's all I got for y'all tonight, man. All right. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share, inshallah. And we will see you guys tomorrow, inshallah. Subhanaka wa hamdika wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.